first.
Welcome to Brooklyn.
Jamal, what do you make of the news of Willie Monroe testing positive? What was your first initial reaction, and how did you find out?
Stamp him as unprofessional. Willie Monroe and his whole camp, Snack, we've been having problems with them in boxing since I was a kid. I've been hearing nothing about bad things about the Victor Conte dude. I advise any young fighter that if you want to get in shape, you do it the real way. You watch those Rocky movies, those Creed movies. Them guys training on there, you don't see them taking nothing, doing nothing that's all natural. Some fighters can claim all natural, but they unprofessional. They all unprofessional. Trust me, that whole campaign, I don't understand it. I'm not frustrated by it. Don't get it twisted. I'm still training. I'm on fire. I'm on more fire now than I was then. So, after watching what Canelo did, after seeing Golovkin take a nice little break, I'm ready to take my nice little break and get right back to work.
Jamal, we heard your brother say what he thinks should happen to someone who gets busted for PED use, and it was pretty hardcore. I'm not going to tell him what you said, but I want to ask you, do you think that the punishments are stiff enough for someone, getting PED positive? Or if it's stiffer, will that help the sport more by removing it from the equation?
There's been a lot of bullshit about the Charlos missing a VADA test. We was out doing promotion for our fight. We was out doing something that they told us to do, something they wanted us to do, but then they sent, I guess VADA or WBC Clean Boxing Program to my brother's house. He lives a mile away from me. They, of course, come to my house, but we not there. We out of town. But guess what? A week after that, we submit testing. You hear nothing back from it. Then you get all this backlash about, what the Charlos made of. Get a load of that shit. That's all natural. That's what all natural means. That's what it looked like. It ain't, cheaters never win. And
YourBeats.com.
in San Francisco, in California, and that lost their houses and their bikes in the fire. I'm doing that for the people. I don't know how many jabs. Yeah, I'm doing that. 10 bikes per jab. I don't care who. It was against Monroe, but this motherfucker, I don't know. We don't know yet. We gonna find out. Tune in.
You're going to throw a lot of jabs up.
Watch. I'm gonna jab crazy.
Man, I saw him giving you some southpaw looks, preparing you for your fight this weekend. What is it about you and Ronnie, man, that's so great together?
I love Ronnie, man. You mentioned Ronnie right now. I'm looking like, shit, he might be tripping at me right now. He hate when I start talking. Man, Ronnie got me on fire. He let me know. Ronnie been here before. I've never been in these territories. I ain't never seen all these cameras in my face and want to know what's on my mind. So I always try to tell Ronnie, I apologize if I make him look bad, or if I just want it real bad, And I love Ronnie Shields, man. He did everything for me. He's like a father to me. He's a father to my kids, and I can't even thank him enough. Only thing I can thank him with is these hands and knocking out other fighters, and we go on boats and we go fishing and we just, man, you don't even know, bro. We have a good ass time, me and Ronnie. He would never let me do nothing wrong. I love Ronnie the Shields to death.
So the writer's got to ask the right questions. I want to ask
the right questions.
I'm not sure if this is right, but okay, when are we going to be seeing you fight a Golovkin or a Canelo? I want to see it. I feel like you're ready. I like hearing you talk like this. So when are we going to see it? What needs to happen to make that happen?
You want me to lie to you?
No.
All right. We should be seeing this in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what y'all want to see?
Please.
Y'all want to see? Tell the people that then. Don't tell. I want to fight. I already told you I want to fight. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what happened. I want to fight. I want to see how talented I am against whoever out there. I don't care about being an undefeated fighter or being this big role model to everybody. I'm not trying to put on a persona. I'm not faking it. I want to fight. I want to see all this work that me and Ronnie Shields been doing. What is it? What is this about? Is it real? Like, I'm Jamal Charlo. My twin brother is Jamel Charlo. We made history. Great. We got belts. Great. We got money. We fly as hell. Cool. We take care of our family. We only doing what's right. But now it's time to see what we're made of. That's the question that they want to see. What are the twins really made of?
Last couple questions, guys.
So, is anyone stopping it or blocking it? You really want it. I believe I can tell that. Is anyone blocking it that we got to talk to, that the fans got to talk to?
Yeah, man. Y'all got to get on the phone with a dozen couple fighters with a dozen couple losses, they're gonna be whatever we call them.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all gotta get on the lines with those guys. Oscar De La Hoya never gave me a chance. I ain't never signed with Golden Boy. Lou DiBella, I ain't signed with them either. I never had a promoter. This all self-made millionaire money. I'm coming in with my own campaign. I got my own background. I'm my own fighter. I got my own squad. I'm ready. Me and Lions Only is here to take over whatever was out there.
So that was an interview that was done by Fight Hub TV. Shout outs to Fight Hub TV for that interview. Now, I did a video earlier about Jermall Charlo and what I think he should do in order to break the walls down. Now, I want to take it a step further and just do a video about the black athlete in general. And I want to do a video about the black athlete that has a free mind to think with and why it posed a threat to the order of the day. Now, I'm going to use a couple of examples, but this is one example that I'm going to start with first with Jermall Charlo and the Charlo twins in general. Now, one may say that when you hear him talk, that he's very arrogant, that he's very full of himself, that he's very self-absorbed. But it's deeper than that. He's basically saying to everybody that he's not a yes man. That he's not just a guy who goes for the okie doke. That he's his own man. That he's the one that calls the shots. That he's the one that basically dictates how he carries himself. That everything is all natural. That he's not the type of guy to rehearse to please the order of the day. Now, his brother shares the similar traits as well. Now, you have to imagine something. If these two were to become the face of boxing, if the Charlo twins were to become the face of boxing, do you know that because of their just the way they carry themselves, and just because of like how they kind of now are starting to transcend boxing, how much of a threat that would be to the order of the day? Because guess what? People, and most notably black people, would be able to relate to them so much because of the way they are, because of their humble beginnings, because they're about that life when it comes to fighting, because they got that warrior mentality, because they don't hold their tongue. Now, you have to compare them to fighters who were great at a time, right? Great in the ring, excellent in the ring, but for whatever reason just fell by the wayside and decided to join the order of the day. The ones that come to mind are Andre Ward. Another one that comes to mind is Timothy Bradley. Now, Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley will probably never talk like this, you know? they'll never ever talk like this, because they would be so afraid of the backlash that they would get for talking in such a way. Another one that comes to mind is Anthony Joshua as well. If he were to talk like this, they would look at him as being out of place. They would look at him as being basically quote unquote uncivilized. Okay? Now, let's use another example, a boxing example. Muhammad Ali was very, very fly at the mouth when he was fighting. We always knew that we knew him to be that slick talker. Even one artist in the song said, "Slick talker like my name is Cassius." You know, that was Muhammad Ali's first name. Now, he was not liked when he was fighting. Okay? Many people wanted him to lose. He was disliked even more when he had his anti-Vietnam War stance. Okay? Basically, he was looked at as a Negro who was out of place. You know, because in order to be liked by the order of the day, they want you to fall in line. They don't want you to step out of line. Because the moment you step out of line, that means they no longer can control you. And I think that's why, unfortunately, the UK and the UK media adores Anthony Joshua so much, because he hasn't stepped out of line. He hasn't spoken in this kind of way. So that's why they're giving him a pass for his blatant cowardliness. Now, let's go to another example. We can use the basketball example now. Everybody liked Michael Jordan because he was your prototypical household name. Your prototypical quote-unquote good guy. But when you had a guy come into the league like Allen Iverson, Allen Iverson was very rough around the edges. Allen Iverson was a guy who basically came into the league and said he was going to do things his way. Came into the league self-assured. Came into the league with a mind of his own. The downside, unfortunately, is he just never really had the supporting cast needed to win a championship, you know. But the fact of the matter is, Allen Iverson was hated more than he was loved, you know. A lot of people did not like Allen Iverson. A lot of people did not like him in the league at all. Another guy that comes to mind is Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who was in the league. He played for Golden State for a little while. Same thing with him. It's once he took a stance, once he decided he had a mind of his own, it was all downhill from there. They blackballed him in the highest way, you know. Now let's go to another sport, in the world of soccer, for those of you guys who don't know, you're expected to shut up and dribble as well. That's how it's supposed to work most of the time. So, when Samuel Eto'o, one of the former players who used to be one of the best players, when he was about to walk off the soccer ground because of racist chants and because of them making monkey chants, people thought he was immature. People thought that he was doing the wrong thing. People thought that he was out of character for doing that, you know. So what happened is another player by the name of Ronaldinho said that he was going to walk off with him too, because he got tired of the chants as well, because Ronaldinho is a Brazilian who has a bit of African ancestry. So, you know, Samuel Eto'o also, when he played Real Madrid and he was on Barcelona and their rival teams, after he scored a goal, he did the Black Power salute. He pumped the fist in the air because of the racist chants to him that he was getting. So that just goes to show you that, you know, they hate you more when you are outspoken and free thinking, and when you have as fate will have it, the fate of being of African ancestry. And another incident we can name in football is when it's basically when there was racist chants, and what happened was that a player by the name of Boateng, I believe his name was Prince Boateng, he heard the racist chants and he kicked the ball out of the stadium, basically. That's what happened. He kicked the ball out. So what happened is that, you know, you had players of also who were black who said, well, he shouldn't have acted like that. You have players say that, you know, he overreacted. You have players say, oh, I would not do that in a championship game. You have players saying all types of stuff like that, you know. They were really actually saying that he overreacted. Now, the thing is this. When players do things like that, although this is just sports, sports is entertainment at the end of the day. You know, it's an entertaining thing to watch. But sometimes sports can translate over to real life. So when you have fighters like this, when you have these type of athletes who speak like in this certain way, it's a threat to the order of the day. You know, because we are taught that we have to be conforming, we have to be just like yes ma'am, yes sir type of people, and that, you know, any type of individualism is not looked upon very highly. And so the reason why I think the Charlos have this individualism is because they're into art. You know, when you watch the special about them, they have one makes music and the other is into fashion and stuff like that. So, you know, art is subjective, you know. So we can see from this that, you know, his speech may be subjective. Some people may call it arrogant. Me personally, I want more of it, you know. I want him to talk that stuff. And I'm just looking forward to seeing him back it up, which I believe he can. And so, if you have that speech and you can back it up, that can be an empowering thing to a lot of people, you know. It can like maybe wake people up, you know, and let them know that you can just basically be yourself. That you don't have to like answer to an order of the day. Sure, still be respectful, but just don't conform your individuality, you know, even if it means you're going to be hated. Muhammad Ali didn't conform his individuality. Charlos are not conforming their individuality. Deontay Wilder is not conforming his individuality. Too often you have athletes who conform this just to make the quote-unquote man smile. And it shouldn't be the case at all. So, in closing, I want to say, if I offended anybody, I apologize. And these are just my thoughts, and this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But at the same time,
YearBeats.com.
you can respectfully disagree with it without flagging my page or without leaving comments in which I have to block. But that's all I got for now, guys. Let me know what you think. And shout outs to the whole LDBC.